Good morning, champions. Happy Friday. Today is day 11 of my intention to go live for 31 days. Welcome. I hope the week has been fabulous and fantastic for you. I hope you've had a lot to get done, and I hope that you're excited to enjoy the weekend as well. Welcome to day 11. Thank you for those that have joined. Thank you for those that have watched the replay, and I'm looking forward to having a good time. If you have specific questions, don't hesitate to leave it in the comment or just send a DM as well. But for those that don't know me, my name is Omotola the Great. I am the lead consultant here at the Funding Magnet, and our mission for this year is to ensure that we can aid and support at least 1,000 nonprofits to fully fund their budget. And we believe that you don't have to go broke to make a difference, and that you can make a living while you're making a difference. And so we support you through our various programs, classes, workshops, or services that we provide as well. And our vision for you is to be able to do what you love without having to stress out or thinking that you have to close down your nonprofit or your program just because of lack of funding. And so for the past 7 days, I've gone over the different funding streams that you can activate in response to the question of how do I fund my nonprofit. So if you miss any, you can go catch the replay. They're all on my grid as well. Today, I want to focus on what I call you need a plan. I've had a lot of questions around but how do I structure my nonprofit? How do I make sure that we can continue to do good? So it's not just enough for you to plan for your fundraising activity or how to fund your nonprofit, but as an organization, you need an overall plan. You need a plan. You need to cast the vision in a paper to say, okay, this is what we want to do this year. What is the plan? Instead of just having everything in your head as the visionary, you need to be able to put it down on paper. So when new team members join, when you volunteer, when you have your board, they know where you're going, not that they have to first talk to you and speak to you before they understand the vision. You need to have a document that shows exactly what is the pathway to get where you want to get to. And so usually most people call it a strategic plan. And so that's what you need as an organization. Not, like I said, there's a difference between a fundraising plan and a strategic plan, and I'm going to give you the difference. So a fundraising plan just focuses on how are you going to get the money to do the good you want to do. But with a strategic plan, you're thinking way ahead in terms of your vision for the future. You're saying, okay, for this year, this is the direction we want to go. We want to have 4 programs, and then you break down those 4 programs, and then you say, okay, this is what it will entail for us to do these 4 programs as well. And so you need an overarching strategic plan, and within that strategic plan, there might be mini plans for like your dream team. So for volunteers, for staff, for board, and all of that, that is fine. And then also for each of your programs, you have to think and decide, okay, based on our capability right now, how many people do we want to serve? How many community do we want to serve? What does that look like? Do you want to serve them monthly, quarterly, or every week? What does that look like? And so you need to review and sit down with this. Okay, if our goal is to serve 200 people this year, and our mission is to help save the life of 200 or transform their life or change their life for the good, what does that look like? So you need to work your way backward. What do you need? What ingredients, what resources will you need to be able to accomplish this goal of helping 200 people? What exactly would that take? How many team members do you have right now? How many team members do you need? And at what stage along the way are you going to have those team members? How are you going to recruit them? What's going to be the process? And so your strategic plan is like your map for the change, for your theory of change. It's a map. Think about it. Let's say you're going to a new place for the first time. Thank God for Google Maps, right? For those that can use it, or sometimes like the physical map as well. And so it's important for you to have a map and a roadmap of this is where we are going. This is the route we are going to take to achieve it, and this is what we are going to do to get there. And so if you're doing the work without a map, then there'll be a lot of frustration. There'll be miscommunication among your team member. There'll be no direction. Everybody just think that, okay, we know we want to help 200 people, but we don't even know what we need to do. And then each person, they don't know what role that they are going to serve on your team. And so my tip for creating a plan is, first and foremost, sit down, get a sheet of paper. Don't try to do it on your phone, and just brainstorm. Write everything. Don't worry about the flow. Don't worry about whether it makes sense to you. Write everything that you want to accomplish this year. We still have at least 9 months or more to go this year, so you have a lot of time. And usually Q1, which is going to end at the end of March. It's like a test run. It's where you do the test run. You pilot what you want to happen this year. So let's say for the past 2.5 months, you're not sure of the direction you're going. Everything has been up and down. You can't even say that, oh, I did this or I'm able to accomplish this year. So first and foremost, brain dump. Sit down, think about the mission, the vision, the population you want to serve, whether in quantity or quality, and start writing everything down. Start just brainstorm it, like mind map everything that is in your head, any idea that you have about a specific program or project, put it down on paper. Don't worry about making it pretty. Your goal is to just dump everything in your head into the paper. After you've done it, don't worry about organizing it in any way or form. Just leave it there for a bit. And then after you've dumped everything that you think you've exhausted all the ideas that are in your head onto the paper, then look at it and say, okay, who do I need? If I say I want to help 100 children by May or June or Q2, what does that look like? What would this entail? What is the amount in terms of funding that we need to be able to help 100 children by this timeline that we have given ourselves? Who do I need to be on my bus? Who do I need to be on my team in terms of volunteers or staff? What partnership do we need to create in that regard? And then so for each program that you have, take that step and work your way backward to say, okay, is this a SMART plan? So use the SMART acronym to say, okay, is this specific? What is the specific mission, vision, objective, goal that you want to accomplish for this target audience? Is it that, let's say, the children have issues with academics performance? Maybe most of them are D or F students. And your goal is that if they start in your program, within 3 months, you want to move these D or F students a grade upper. So if they were D students, they become C students, or C plus, they become C plus student. If they were F students, they become C students. So after you've decided on that target, that specific thing that you want to accomplish for that particular program or population that you want to serve, the next thing is to now say, okay, measurable. How are we going to measure progress? We are specific now. We say, okay, we want them, whether it's in chemistry, physics, biology, or 5 or 4 subject matters that they're struggling in. Now we want to move them to be at least a grade better. And so measurable. How are you going to measure progress? Is it that you're going to provide 3 days of extracurricular tutorial to them? Or is it going to be 5 days, Monday to Friday? Or is it going to be hours that we're going to invest 10 hours per week in helping these students to understand the concept that they need to be able to succeed and thrive? And so you need to really sit down and think about how are you going to measure success? How are you going to measure that you're reaching or you're close to reaching the goal or the target that you set for yourself? Then A is like, it has to be achievable. Like, you should not plan anything that you know that you cannot accomplish. Like the goals that, like I said, that's what we want you to make it specific. Not that you are so generic and you're like, oh, we just want to help them. No, like, how are you helping them? Are you helping them academically? Are you helping them mentally? Are you helping them emotionally? Are you helping them materially? What exactly is that help? You need to define that help and make it specific, like we said. And so then it has to be achievable. You need to also think about it like, wait, how are we going to measure the before and after? Are we going to do a pre-test or pre-survey to say, okay, where are you? What are your needs? What struggles do you have with this particular subject matters? Why is it that you have the D or an F in this subject matter? And then if once you have you've collected those data, then you can now use to say, okay, I think for this particular student, do we need to create a different plan, individualized education plan for this student? What does this look like in terms of how to go about it? And so you can do that as well. And then after you've made it like, okay, this is achievable, I think we can help them to move from F to C or D to C plus or whatever the grade will be. Then next is like, it has to be realistic. So think about it. Do you have the capacity as an organization to do a tutorial class every single day? Or is it more like 3 times a day, 3 times a week, or 2 times a week? So you need to be very realistic that in this change, in this information that you want to give to these students, this assistant that you want to aid to ensure that they can succeed academically, what does that look like? What would this look like? Is it going to be something that realistically you have the capacity in terms of your team, the people on your bus, and also the funding and the resources to do that as well? What are all the ingredients? Do you need to buy extra textbook for them? Do you need to get extra study material? Do you need to get somebody that can teach them on how to study effectively beyond just the tutors as well? So you need to consider all of these things and say, okay, are we realistic? Can we really help 100? Or maybe right now your capacity is just for 10, and why not just start with the 10 and do it well than try to do 100, and then you spread yourself too thin. At the end of the day, you don't get the desired result. And then the last one in the smartest time bound. You have to make it time bound. You can't just leave it to chance to say, oh, we are going to make this happen for 100 years to come. Like, is it in 3 months? Is that the duration that you're focusing on? That if we do this every single week, 3 times a week, at least spend 6 hours with this student on this subject matter, within 3 months, we can see the result of moving them from D student to C+, or is it going to take you 6 months? And so you need to be very realistic about your timeline as well, to say, this is the timeline, this is the timeline that we have, that in 6 months, these students who are currently at D, our goal is that by the time we incorporate all these weekly tutorial and all this extra material, by the end of 6 months, they're going to become C+, B student and things like that. And so for your program, that's the side of your program. So you need to have, for each of those programs that you're having, can you walk through the SMART acronym and make sure that you are able to actually create those specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound goals for each of your program. So that's on one side, of flip side of planning. Then another thing you need to consider, again, like I said, is your dream team. Let's say you want to up 100 people. How many people do you have in your team right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, what is the ratio in terms of like the people you're trying to help to the people that can help them from your team? So is it like 10 students to 1 mentor or 1 tutor, or 5 students to 1 mentor or 1 tutor? So you need to understand, okay, if you say we want to help 100 people and we want to create a 5 to 1 ratio, that means you need at least 20 tutors, whether they are volunteered or paid. What does that look like? Then you now need to create a plan. How are we going to recruit these 20 tutors? What does it look like? What are going to be the criteria to make it happen as well? And so if you can look at the different stages of your organization and you take the time to plan it out, no matter how like small it is, like it looks to you on paper, I promise you it's going to get easier. And so, or you can get like a cardboard or things like that and create each plan on different things like that and have it like pasted on all over your walls. And so it's very important for you to have that plan. And then it's not just enough to have the team plan as well. Like I said, you need a fundraising plan. It's part of your strategic plan, because your strategic document is like an overarching like document that everyone that looks at your organization and the mission or the target that you have for this year, they can see the different moving pieces. They can say, okay, this is where the funding is going to come from for this program. These are the team members that are going to carry this out. These are the population that we're going to serve. These are the other resources, partnerships, support that we're going to get to make it happen. But if you don't have all of this laid out, if you don't have these planned out, it's going to become difficult for anyone, that because things happen. Just because people started with you in the beginning of this year does not mean that they are going to end with your organization. So maybe along the way, some people will drop off your bus because of life happen. You know, people say that people come to your life for a season, a reason, and a lifetime. So you may not get everyone that is for a lifetime, right? And so maybe their season might be just for 3 months, for 2 months, so once they go off, do you have a process in which where the information that they have, the things that the tasks they did for your organization, it's documented, that so a new person that is coming on your bus to take over their role, will it be easy for them to understand what they need to do? Would it be easy for them to see the vision clearly and to be able to run with it as well? And so you need to create a plan and have like standard operating procedure for like, okay, this is what it looks like when a new team member comes in. This is the orientation process. So you need to have that in your strategic plan, so that every single time something happens, somebody has to leave, you are not back to square one and you're wondering, how are we going to do this? What is it going to take for us to be able to get things back on track and also help the student that we want to help as well? And so it's very important that you take the time to create a plan, because one of the things I see and I notice, like a lot of nonprofit, they have the passion, they want to do good, but sometimes they don't take the time to make the plan. And think about it, even before you build a house, like they have to create a plan for that house. They have to create and lay the foundation that this is where this will go. And so it's like, if you use the Bible as a textbook, in Abacus 2 it says, write the vision, make it plain, so that everyone that runs has something they are running towards. And so the same thing for your organization. If you want to build a profitable and sustainable organization that is impact filled, you need a plan. You need to create a plan for where you're going. Without a plan, think about it, it's like maybe you're cooking a new dish for the first time. If you don't have a recipe, you're going to mess it up. You're going to not get the desired result. So the same way for your nonprofit, if you truly want to fully fund your budget, if you truly want to make change happen, transform the life and the community that you said you want to serve, you have to start with a plan. Because when you have a plan, irrespective of what happened to you or anyone on your team, that plan is living. That plan, other people can still carry it out if they follow that plan, if you've laid out a step for them. But if you don't have a plan and everything lives in your head, and let's say something happened, then everything stops. And I'll give you a real life example. That was what happened to me last year. So I had COVID-19 last year, and then I was pregnant with twins for 20 weeks pregnant, and I lost the pregnancy, and I had to shut down everything because all my plan for my business was in my head. I didn't have any contingency plan, which is why I'm now a very, what's the word? I keep saying you need a plan, you need a strategic plan. So that last year taught me so much because I couldn't function and then all the plan was in my head. And because the plan was in my head, even if there were people that wanted to up in, I had people that wanted to intern, people that I was supposed to hire, I could not help anybody because I didn't have a plan written down. But guess what? Last year, December, I was like, you know what? Things has to be different. And so I created a strategic plan. I have a living document. It's printed out. It's also my Google Drive because each time I keep updating it. So I know where I'm going. I know the plan for each quarter, each month. I know what product I want to push. I know what I want to do to serve my community. I know the tasks I need to do. I know who I need on my bus to help me get to this mission of serving at least 1,000 nonprofits to fully fund their mission this year. But last year, that was not me. I was a mess. I didn't have the plan. And because of that, I could not achieve my results that I had or the goals that I set for myself. And so for your organization, in order for you to be able to truly be profitable and sustainable, you need all of this plan. You need the plan for your program. You need the plan for your dream team. You need the plan for fundraising so that you can continue to do the impactful work that you do. You need to have a plan that everybody can see. Everybody can say, okay, this is my path, this is my role. I get it. I know this is what we need to do to achieve this result that we need to get. And so I hope this was helpful to you. If you have questions or concern, feel free to leave it in the chat or send me a DM. And if you need help with either reviewing your plan or creating one, send us a DM. We can talk to you on how we can definitely make that happen as well. And also, I have a free masterclass that I do every month. And so on April 5th, I have one coming up. I call it the Fully Funded Plan. And so if you are interested, go to the link in the bio and click on it and then definitely register for it. It's going to be very transformational as well. And it's just for 1 hour and it's free for you if you show up live as well. I'll be back again tomorrow. And so I hope that you have a wonderful Friday and keep doing good. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everyone.